second week of football practice as we gear up for Aztec Fan Fest.
He's Lewis Weiner. I'm Steve Perez, and this is Aztecs All In, a couple of Aztec alums podcasting with, what's that buzzword I've heard bandied about these? Oh yeah, great joy. Happy, joy. All on San Diego State University Aztec Athletics. This edition, football's the game, and we will take a dive into the defense for the Aztecs with a progress report of sorts under defensive coordinator Eric Schmidt.
We'll talk to new safeties coach CJ McGorisk and hear from transfer safety Daleshawn Staley.
And we'll hear from a familiar name to the Aztecs faithful, offensive line coach Mike Schmidt, who has rejoined the program and is charged with molding the moving parts of veterans and transfers and new recruits into a unit that must be cohesive if Coach Lou's no-huddle offense is to function as advertised. Getting right to it then. New defensive coordinator Eric Schmidt has the wheel of this defense after serving with the University of Washington as special teams coordinator and edge coach. More about that edge position momentarily. Earlier this week, we heard from Coach Schmidt and a couple of his linebackers. Now, that position serves as the heart of any good defense. And the entire team went through spring ball, and there was some turnover as some moved on via the transfer portal. The players themselves conducted their own practices and worked on strength and conditioning over the summer. That with head of football performance, Jeff Sobel. He had worked with Coach Lou during their time together at Kent State. Now, prior to the Coach Lou Aztec Fast era, the Aztecs made their bones running a 3-3-5 defense, originally espoused by Rocky Long. Now, generally, statistically, during the Aztecs' winning seasons, they would rank nationally in scoring defense. They were rock solid against the run. And they would opportunistically expose opponents and create turnovers. These would lead to still more opportunities for a ball control-oriented running game. And now here we are a few weeks into the fall camp with a defense known as the 4-2-5. But what's in a name and a bunch of numbered defenses, right, Coach?
We were very, very deliberate and slower with our install when we first got here, and now we've kind of, just told them, hey, we're gonna take the training wheels off this thing, and we got to get ready to go. We're gonna be multiple. I think sometimes that everybody gets into how many good D linemen and all that kind of stuff, and we're gonna ask guys to be multiple, and we want to get guys in different spots so we can be successful. But at the end of the day, it's very similar. Like, those guys got to drive it for us. It's they got to be able to run fast and hit hard, and we want them to be as efficient as we can. We're not just running out there. Like, hey, we want to take really good passes to the ball and make sure that we're running efficiently and that we're tackling the right way. And our guys will still be in and out of the box at times. Like I said, we'll get into odd spacing too as well. And they've had a lot of success here for a long time on the defensive side of the ball. And our new staff has a lot of respect for the guys that have been here in the past and the tradition that they've established. And we maybe have a different way of doing things, but at the end of the day, like, the number one skill that we can teach these guys, and there's a lot of things that go into football, is just belief and confidence. When those guys take the field, that they feel like, hey man, I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what the guy next to me is supposed to do, and whatever the structure is, I've always said, hey, the best defenses that I've ever called, it's 11 guys out there, everybody knowing exactly what they're supposed to do. And once we get that consistently here over the next few weeks, I feel like we got the ability to be able to put a really good product on the field.
Schmidt's not only the defensive coordinator, but linebackers coach. He'll be calling defenses, and with the new rule allowing communication to one player on the field via helmet gear, linebackers will be receiving that signal, receiving the call. Among those with the so-called green dot in practice is Owen Chambliss, and he's originally from just up the road in Corona, where he played on the CIAF championship team. While listed as number 1 on the depth chart at the will or weak side linebacker position, there are 4 others, including senior Cody Moon, vying for action on the field and learning to work together as a team.
It's been real healthy competition. That's kind of something, if you want to play at the next level, it's going to be healthy competition every day, you know what I mean? So just adapting to that, getting used to that. I had a lot of competition at Utah, you know what I mean? So nothing I'm scared of running away from, so it's been nice. The biggest challenge for the defense is just playing as a unit. I mean, that's kind of the hardest thing when you get a new coaching staff, a whole bunch of new players. It's kind of just playing as one, playing together like you've been playing for 4 years, like you've been playing for 3 years. That's going to be the hardest thing so far.
Another new face in the middle of the defense, San Diego native Tano Letuli of Cathedral Catholic High School. He's a transfer after a single season at West Point. His stat line from his time as a true freshman last season for the Black Knights, 12 tackles in 11 games. Though listed at the top of the depth chart as the Mike or middle linebacker, he says everyone in his part of the room is, as Keith Jackson might say, hankering for playing time.
We're starving. It's a starving mentality out here, and we're excited to go to meetings and learn more and come out here and compete and make each other better. And I feel like our position group is really special because with that competition, and the older guys do have a lot of experience, but there's no negative energy towards each other. We're all coming off the field and we're eager to help each other. Hey bro, like, do you see this call? When we're all watching each other on the field, and it's a really healthy competition because we're all helping each other and there's no bad feelings or there's no jealousy or anything. So it's been really awesome, and it helps come out here and playing a lot better. So it makes you feel better and want to play for your team. You got to be consistent. That's a big thing we preach at this, but with our coaching staff is consistency. You want to be consistently good, not occasionally great. That's kind of like our motto. So I want to come out here and do the same thing every single day with the same effort, doing what you're supposed to do. And the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So you can't pick and choose when you want to be great, and you got to just be consistent is the biggest thing for sure.
His experience not only on the football field, but in a military service academy has given him an added bit of self-discipline, a solid work ethic that could serve him well and to the Aztecs' advantage. Now let's move on to that edge position. New to Aztec fans, but something that edge coach Rob Aurich notes the football world has moved toward in recent years. It's sort of a hybrid between a defensive end and a linebacker.
We like to fancy ourselves an edge with some linebacker or a DM with some linebacker skills, but our job is to rush the passer and defend the edge. And so you're going to see our guys running off the ball, playing with excellent physicality, and then you're going to see them making drops 10 to 15 times a game. Coach Lou and their style of play, they're humming, dude. And so it's fun at practice. Not only are we working our mental sharpness, how quickly we can get to the solution, but conditioning-wise, these boys can run.
And on Saturday, do you have particular goals for your group, and what can fans expect to see?
Yeah.
Offense, defense?
You know, when we talk about like the goals for the group, we're not talking necessarily about production, but we need to execute the scheme at a high level, play with great effort, and disrupt the pocket for the quarterback.
Edge rusher Trey White has drawn praise from coaches for his effort, his ability to come out on top against potential blockers, and rallying to the ball. A redshirt sophomore who returns to the Aztecs after a solid freshman campaign where he appeared in all 12 games. He started one, had an interception, a fumble recovery, and 15 tackles, including 2 for a loss. Here is his take on the edge position and going against his own Aztec fast offense in practice.
The way I would describe it is kind of like an outside linebacker. I wouldn't classify as strictly a DN because we're dropping in coverage, we're doing a bunch of stunts and stuff like that, so I feel like we're pretty versatile and athletic. So I would describe us as more like an outside linebacker, hybrid type rusher, and then also a coverage dropper. My favorite is getting after people. Running the stunts is my favorite for sure. I like to get sacks, and also we have opportunities to get interceptions, so if I get a little interception, that would be great too.
What's it like going against the fast offense, in practice, and what can fans expect out of that?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely no joke. They're going really, really fast, fastest I've ever seen. So it's definitely getting us prepared. So I wouldn't want it any other way. We're going to be well prepared when we face a team that does tempo and stuff like that. So we're going to see that throughout fall camp and throughout the whole year. So it's only going to help us get better. Just kind of worked on my pass rush moves because last year I was more of like a straight linebacker that would walk up to the edge. And I feel like I just needed to work on my pass rushing ability because I knew I was going to get more opportunities at that.
He says fans attending on Saturday can expect to see both the defense trying to create turnovers and getting after the quarterback. Overall, defense as a squad is being trained to get to the football wherever it is and never giving up on a play. Another transfer expected to see lots of playing time at linebacker is senior transfer Kyle Moretti from Central Michigan. He was the team's second leading tackler there last season. Like the first two guys we've heard from, Schmidt describes him as a player who puts the team first and has what Schmidt calls a growth mindset with a good, appreciative attitude.
We've always said, like, hey, we don't have a class system. You know, we're going to play the best players in 2024. You played in 2023, like, obviously, you know, past performance is sometimes a really good indicator of future performance, but like anything else in life, like you got to go out and earn it. You know what I mean? There was, just because you were the starter or you played a lot a year ago, like, you know, we got 30-some new guys right now walking around that locker room. Like, those guys weren't here, you know, and now they're here, and you got to do, you know what I mean, if you're the best, you know, player at your position and the best fit for what we want, yeah, you're going to play, but you got to go out there every single day, you know what I mean, and earn it. And I think our guys understand that. Like, we look them in the eye and tell them that all the time, how we feel about them, what we think their strengths, their weaknesses are, and most of those guys appreciate it. You know, as much as people want to say that, you know, kids have changed, like they want to know how to get better, you know what I mean? And if you help them solve a problem or help them get better, you got those guys. Like, they're by your side all day long because they trust you and they know that, hey, this is a partnership, right? Like, we're not trying to control you, you know what I mean? Like, what we're trying to do is to get the very best out of you and partner with you to make you the best version of yourself that we can in order for you to, you know what I mean, reach your goals.
Overall, Lewis, the defense looks like the rest of the squad, relatively young. A lot of new faces throughout the roster, which I am sure we will hear more about as the camp and the season rolls on. Time to hear now from Coach C.J. McGorisk, like Schmidt, also from Washington, where he was a quality control coach. Now he has a different responsibility. Right, Lewis?
Under Rocky Long and Brady Hoke, the Aztecs played a 3-3-5 defense, but under Coach Schmidt, the Aztecs are switching to a 4-2-5. So while the Aztecs are still playing with 5 defensive backs, Coach McGorisk says there is a difference in how the safeties play their positions.
The 4-2-5, the 3-3-5, obviously the pieces are a little different, but with the 5 in the back half, you're moving their alignments around a little differently, but there's some familiar concepts in terms of coverage that they're playing. Now, the biggest thing when you walk in is they've had the same language for a really long time here. So now it's a new language and you're getting them to learn a completely new language and how to communicate that. But the concept itself, you know, there's some crossover and some similarity where the guys kind of understand conceptually, all right, this is similar to what we used to run. We're calling it this. There's some differences, but it does have some advantages for sure.
The Aztec safeties room this season includes returning junior strong safety Eric Butler, senior strong safety transfer from UCLA, William Nimmo Jr., who played 5 seasons for the Bruins, and free safety junior transfer Daleshawn Staley, who comes to the Aztecs from Northern Iowa. Coach Lewis says so far he likes what he sees.
Their range, their football IQ, their ability to cover ground and get their hands to the ball and not just knock it down, but to generate turnovers. They did a nice job today, got their hands on a few, caused some turnovers, and obviously those are game-changing plays, right? We were talking about it, you know, just now as we circled up as a team, that you win that turnover margin, even if you're just +1, right? And what that does to your chances and your win probability by winning that turnover margin. So those guys are good ball hawks in the back end. Coach CJ's got them rolling around, and you know, they really got to drive it from the back down to make sure that we're closed and we're doing things properly.
Coach McGorisk and Daleshawn Staley say that the phrase Aztec fast shouldn't just pertain to the defense. They say the safeties will play fast, especially after practicing against Sean Lewis's high-flying offense, and in turn, that will play big dividends when the Aztecs face a more traditional type of offense as well.
Absolutely love it. You know, Coach Lou, a lot of people are associating Aztec Fast with the offense, right? Which no doubt they go fast. We had to prep for him at Kent State when we were up at UW in 2022. But, you know, it's Aztec Fast defense as well in terms of flying to the ball. And our cycle of the snap, getting the call, getting aligned, making communications has to be at an elite level when they're going that fast. So, you know, if you practice it at an elite tempo, right, then when it slows down, it becomes much easier.
Aztec Fast is like thinking on the fly because, you know, we're going to go against teams that's going to hurry up and quick no huddle and just get back on the line. That's where our team here is, our offense is preparing us for, you know, for those fast teams. And these guys might be the fastest people that I know that do the hurry up offense. So Aztec Fast isn't just for them, but it's also for us too. Flying to the ball, getting there fast, getting our plays there, knowing what calls we need to call fast, because it's going to come just like that. It's not going to give us time to go think and stuff. So we just have to keep getting better at that. These guys out here, they try to tire us. They try to tire us quick, and that's what gets them their momentum. And so them continuing to do that and making sure that they get back on the line fast, it's going to help us. And it's not only that, it's going to help us notify formations faster, personnel faster, what call we need to get out there faster, and that's what our team is helping us do. And so whenever we go against the traditional offenses, we already know what's going to happen, and that's why our offense is good at that, is helping us out getting better.
Coach McGorisk realizes that this is just the second week of fall practice, and there are high expectations for the safety position. But so far, he says the group is living up to expectations.
Yeah, you come out and you set a standard, and the standard's going to be the minimum, right? So seeing those guys, there were days where, we got to just keep stacking +1 moments, and we have continued to stack those, right? It's far from a finished product, but each day continuing to stack +1s, great teaching moments every day at camp so far that we can just continue to learn from, and then next day move on.
Steve, Coach Lewis says he's extremely excited to have C.J. McGorisk on his staff. He calls him a man of tremendous character with a great work ethic, and that already the players are feeding off of his energy, and that he's putting them in a position to be successful.
Thanks, Lewis. Now, how about we hear a bit about the offensive line before signing off? His official title is Run Game Coordinator, but Coach Mike Schmidt is charged with handling the offensive line. A former Aztecs walk-on on defense. An Aztec for life now. He played 3 seasons on the offensive line. He became a graduate assistant coach and eventually a fixture at line coach during the years when the Aztecs enjoyed many seasons where they featured a punishing ground game that dominated the time of possession. He is now back at the Aztecs after a stint with former Aztec Zach Arnett coaching Mississippi State. And while the name of the game is now No Huddle Aztec Fast, the principles of controlling the line of scrimmage on offense are essentially the same, he says.
I'm coaching the game just like I've always coached it, right? I did the same thing here for the 9 years I was the O-line coach. I went to Syracuse and went right into this offense and applied those same fundamentals into that offense, and we led the ACC in rushing my first year. So that doesn't change. The timing of everything, right, and making sure that we got the right intent to block for that timing is the one difference, but the 4 fundamentals of blocking is eyes up, hip down, feet underneath, hands inside. That is what we're going to focus on. We're going to try to be in that body position on contact, and then knee drive, and trying to win gaps.
And he says it's too early to tell how this Aztec line will rank when compared to those that controlled the line of scrimmage in the previous decade. We visited with a couple of linemen who might vie for one of the most important positions on the offensive line, left tackle. Since most quarterbacks, like the current top 2, are right-handed, having his back is the key. Now, for that position, the new staff brought in Joe Borjon, an Arizona transfer who started 3 games and played in 6 total. He's listed at 6'8", 330. A La Puente native is listed as the starting left tackle, but the competition is constant at this point, he says.
Still competition when we go out there every day. Just working hard off and on the field. School, when they go into meals, nutrition-wise, and just workouts in general. It's all working good. Still competition as it is, and everything's decided yet. And I think I bring to the field my length, my agility, athleticism.
Is there a competition on the offensive line in this Aztec fast era about who's the fastest?
We always try to, when we go huddle now, we try to run to the ball. When we're not huddle, on the ball, we like to pick out on film to see who's faster and everything. And when we do runs and everything, who's got the fastest time, and it's a big thing.
Junior Christian Jones, who is hard to miss on the football field at 6'9", spent the offseason dropping a bit of weight in order to adapt to the new era. While he is listed at number 2 at left tackle, Jones says he can play most of the other spots wherever the team needs him.
Really, except for center, I know everywhere across the whole line. So I can play wherever Coach Schmidt needs me. So, whatever ends up happening, I'm ready for it. Really just continued consistency. I think I talked about that last year too. Just always, every single play, I'm thinking about everything. I'm intent on every play. So just making sure I string together everything because I know what to do. I've been here dang near 4 years now. So just putting everything together, every single play. Absolutely. Aztec Fast is not going to be a problem, and it isn't a problem. I'm a hard worker. I've worked hard ever since I got here, so it's good. It's a lot of it's hard work, though. It's hard work. You definitely feel it a little bit when you got to get on the line, but it's good.
The Aztecs have returning experience at both guards. There's a new center listed at number 1 in Braden Bryant, a senior transfer from North Dakota who redshirted last season. The leading tackle on the right is Nate Williams, 6'6", 308, who joins the Aztecs after 4 seasons at Akron, where he started in 27 games. But before the regular season starts, the entire unit is going to be hearing from Coach Schmidt, whose job is to meld them into that old cliche, a cohesive unit.
Big guys like me, I like to be comfortable too. So that whole July, I was on the couch, I was comfortable, I was down at the beach with the family and all that. So we like to be comfortable. It is my job when we are in a learning environment, whether it's the meeting room, out here walking through stuff on the practice field, or even in the weight room, right? Getting them out of their comfort zone, right? And conflict in their life will always equal their growth, right? We let them be comfortable, they're going to get stagnant, and their development's going to stop. So that is something that we're always going to make them uncomfortable. And out here, we don't have a ton of experience. So the pressure, you can't apply pressure by the outside noise or the fan noise. It's got to be a coach right there applying pressure to them each and every rep that they're out there.
We'll get a look at these players and more at Snapdragon Stadium Saturday at FanFest starting at 5 p.m. The doors will open at 4. 6 tickets are free. You do have to fork over $10 for parking. You check it out and get the details at goaztecs.com. And whoa, now that I'm talking about spending a buck, it's time to call this one a wrap, eh, Lewis?
And that will do it for this edition of Aztecs All In. Thank you so much for listening. Please follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also follow us on the X at Aztecs_all_in, or you can reach us via email, aztecsallin@gmail.com. So for Steve Perez, I'm Louis Weiner. Until next time, so long.